Has the gag been placed in her mouth? I could hear her vulgar shouting from the throne room.
Yes, Your Majesty. We've ensured the restraints are secure with triple locks. As well, we have placed straps to prevent any chance of escape.
Good. I can't have her wriggling free and causing further trouble. It would only serve to increase the migraine I am suffering from. Now leave us.
Yes, Your Majesty.
The rack. Not something I would have strapped you to in order to keep you at my mercy. But I would lie if I said seeing you strapped down tightly doesn't send tingles through me in a most delightful fashion. It is quite funny. I once mocked my parents for bothering to keep these outdated methods of torture in our dungeon. I mean, shackling someone to a rack. Who still does that? I much prefer the Iron Maiden. The rack is so, well, I can see what's going to happen from a mile away. But the Maiden, to see the look of abject horror as my victim is locked inside, and to know they must endure being trapped snugly with dozens of spikes pressing into their flesh. It truly sends blissful chills down my spine. Do cease your struggling. Even if you could get free, you wouldn't get far. I would never allow you to get away from me again. You are very unimpressive, young lady. I have to admit, I am quite disappointed. When I heard my guards finally apprehended the leader of that miserable rebel faction, I was elated to know that the leading cause for my headaches would finally be put down like the mangy mutt that they are. Rebel faction, quite the audacious misnomer for what is more like a gathering of the kingdom's forgotten rabble. Trash that escaped the pit's pyre. Never could I have imagined that the source of my minor annoyances was a young lady playing village rogue. With the garb you are wearing, I would have confused you for those who rolled dice and play adventuring games in the corner of taverns. Do spare me from trying to talk, my dear. The whole point of a gag is for your silence. Although, I do love the look of that gag in your mouth. Saliva dribbling from the ball tightly fastened within your maw. You're frothing from the swears that can't be spoken. I wonder if I were to plug your nose like this. Look at you panicking. What's the matter? Hard to breathe? Is there not enough air making it past the gag? Is the pressure building in your skull? Are your lungs burning? Is the beating of your heart like a hammer at the blacksmith's? Oh, just look at your eyes rolling back into your head. Your pleading moans, listen to them. So beautiful. I wonder what would happen if I just... Shh, Breathe, my dear, just breathe. There you go. Oh, look at these rosy cheeks, your bloodshot eyes, the desperation. You're so beautiful. The reports of your exploits painted you as quite the legend, young lady. Made you out to be the shining star that would cast its light upon the darkness I am apparently bathing my kingdom in. Imagine my disappointment when I heard we captured you by letting loose a rumor that we would be drowning our prisoners in tar in 1 week's time. You fell for the trap and were captured so easily that I smashed the nearest vase in rage. I feel like that child who waits her entire life to meet her hero, only to be met by some idiotic bore playing dress-up. Yes, child, a bore, a moron, a foul-smelling, loud-mouthed, chaotic mess of flesh that has done nothing for this kingdom except cause mayhem. My guards cannot patrol without cow pies being flung at them with the words, "Dogs of the Bloodied Queen," being chanted. Oh, dearest, it doesn't offend me in the slightest. I am a queen who has blood staining her skin so harshly it should be my natural skin tone. But it doesn't make the harassment, nor the complaints I deal with from my guards, any less annoying. At least you're pleasing to the eye. Had your face matched your ugly tactics, I would be tempted to execute you here on the spot. Why haven't I? Why am I drooling on about what a disappointment you are? Because, my beautiful rebel leader, I have been dying to have you all to myself. Ever since the first night you entered my chambers. Yes, beautiful rebel, I knew you were there. Guard patrols had been increased all around the main entrances of my palace. Some fiendish ne'er-do-wells disguised bombs of toxic chemicals as party favors for the ball held 2 months prior. Who would have thought that manning the entrances would leave poor, unsuspecting queens subject to their rooms being broken into? You had scaled the wall to enter my personal chambers. I had just left my bed to go relieve myself. Perhaps take a walk to soothe myself to want to sleep again. And that's when I heard you. I peered from the door. You removed the hood of your cloak. I was mesmerized by the beauty that had come to me in the night. Had I not needed my chamber pot, I would have had you rummaging through my room whilst I slumbered innocently. You could have had your way with me, and I wouldn't have been any the wiser. You could have even taken my life. The very idea makes me hot. Although, if I'm being perfectly honest, if I had awoken, I would have pretended to sleep just to bask in your grasp. I probably would have died happy. You had so clumsily fumbled into my room, tripping on the table nearest the window that had yet to be cleared. Oh, the look on your face. You paled, eyes forming to your spine as you waited in fearful anticipation for the footsteps of the nearby guards. The relief when none came. It took all my willpower not to laugh aloud. I watched you from my hiding place, studying you closely as you scoured my room. The glow of the moonlight catches your sparkling eyes. The graceful way you glided through my room, making nary a sound, save for your entrance. What was intriguing, however, was that you seemed to know where you were looking and what you were looking for. Almost as though you had been in there before. Now that I think about it, you were the new servant following meekly behind the head housekeeper all last month, weren't you? Oh yes, I took notice of you. Moreover, I took notice of your frightening attention to detail. Not a nook or cranny missed. You attended to every room multiple times. The grace you displayed wandering the halls, the skillful flourishes of your hands. How you stretched and flexed to reach those hard-to-reach places. The little noises you'd make when you struggled. And then probably your biggest mistake was your sudden, if not feeble, attempt to be subtle attachment to me. Always looking for where I was in the castle, doing things that you knew would gain you my attention and allow you to be in the same room as me. My dear, you practically announced your intentions to me. My scouts may not have been able to firmly identify you, yes, but they gave me enough character descriptions for me to make an educated guess. Plus, your behavior just screamed to me you were up to no good. But I loved having you within my employ. Having you so close to me that I could smell you. Sage, eucalyptus, lavender. I had to hold myself back from devouring you when that pail of water doused you. Soaking that pure, white cleaner's garb through so thoroughly that you might as well have been naked as nature. Taking you to my quarters to loan you clothing was such a delight. Being able to help you dress, the accidental slips of my hand around your every curve, dip, and swell. To think I would find your sweet spot in those fleeting moments. I wish my fingers could have gone deeper. But doing such things in broad daylight is improper. But to say I was writhing in place watching you as you put on my undergarments and simplest gown, I nearly wet myself. Being able to wear them after you had the entire day, I pleasured myself at night whilst wearing them. The whole castle could hear me. Just the thought of you, tied down as you are, entangled with me in my sheets, beneath me as you screamed my name, begging me as you constantly brought to have you brought to the edge and to be taken away from it. To let you howl in ecstasy. But I would never let you. I would force you to stay there, deny you for days until you are a pitiful mess. And then I set you free. And then I would do it all over again. I would break you just to build you up, and break you again. The fantasy tickles me to no feasible end. Sick, my dear, I am very sick. Sick in love with you. I cursed myself for letting you escape. I should have called the guards. You never should have gotten far. But in your arrogance, you continued to come back and serve me. And wouldn't you know it, suddenly, within only a month of your service, you had access to nearly every single room, hallway, passage, passageway in this castle, including the one where we ambushed you just moments before now. Yes, beautiful. I guided you to your downfall. All while you were blissfully unaware and happily stealing from me to feed those urchins you lead. My angel is now in her gilded cage, and I will never let you go. You will be pampered, protected, cared for, and fed, all the while never being allowed to leave my side for the rest of your life. Dearest, if you could escape, where would you go? Where could you go? Those snakes you led fell apart easily when their head was taken. And there is no one and nothing waiting for you back at that shack you called home. The hovel near the river. A little farm that definitely saw better days. 4 chickens, 2 pigs, 1 cow, and this cute little cat. Oh yes, my dear. I know where you live. I know of your father, your mother, your little brother. They were quite fervent in their dismissal of me. I told them how I wished to have you, to make you mine for the rest of our days, to be able to bathe you in all the fineries and silks your heart could desire, to make you want for nothing except my leisure. They had the absolute audacity to deny me, to call me a monster, to threaten me, to raise their hand against me. What pitiful fools. I did what anyone does when they are threatened, my dear. I killed them. I slaughtered them and their livestock. Except the cat. I gave him to a loving home. He will live. Then I burned that wretched little place into cinders. Its flames were seen for miles and served as a reminder to all who would oppose me the consequences of such foolishness. Do stop your screaming, dear. It changes nothing. Here, let's put this gag in here. There now. I can enjoy your visage without those annoying shrieks. The only shrieks that should come from you are when I defile your form. Yes, yes, that look. Pierce me with your hateful gaze. Oh, burn me with your fury. It makes my mouth water. Oh, how hot your skin must be from your rage. In fact, I would love to feel the heat of your hatred as you curse me from behind that gag. Do keep still, my dear rebel. I would hate to blemish this flawless skin. Well, I would hate to do so too soon. The confusion behind your eyes is so apparent that it's adorably irksome. How are you not yet clear on what I'm about to do to you? I am doing just as I promised, my dear beloved rebel. I am going to ravage you. I am going to devour you. I am going to break you.